On the vast and silent stage of the cosmos, a new actor has made its entrance. A mysterious interstellar object coming from the depths of space accelerates toward our solar system. The first images suggested it was a comet, but no one expected that the James Webb Space Telescope would find it. The object, dubbed 3I Atlas, was already unusual. It moved quickly, but showed no water vapor. Its coma or tail consisted solely of carbon dioxide, dense, inexplicably clean. Then, Webb picked up a signal, a rhythmic pulse buried in the light spectrum. The more scientists looked, the more disturbing it became. It was not just light, it was structured, timed, and precise. This was not a comet. It was massive and controlled. And now, the James Webb confirmed it was artificial. Hello, I'm Ivan Lima, and you're tuned into The Unknown. Did you know that only 5% of the viewers are subscribed to the channel? Take a moment to check if you're subscribed. If not, now is the perfect time to do so. Go ahead, subscribe, and activate notifications. This way, you'll always be among the first to receive our videos. And don't forget to leave a like. This signals to YouTube that our content is relevant and helps share it with a broader audience. 3I Atlas was discovered on July 1st, 2025. The observation that changed everything occurred on August 6th, but it was kept quiet. No public records were released. If the leaked reports are true, the signal detected by Webb did not behave like natural light. The light appeared to emerge from the center of the object, pulsing in clean, uniform waves. Astronomers observed something that broke all protocols. The signal followed a pattern, a deliberate sequence of wavelengths repeating at constant intervals. The infrared sensors confirmed it wasn't noise, it wasn't a reflection. The object wasn't merely shining, it was emitting that light. The transmission didn't resemble thermal emission. It had the signature of projected light. Webb detected harmonics in the signal, patterns resembling data flows. This suggested optical communication, systems coded by pulses designed for clarity. If the signal was coded and originated from inside the object, to whom or what was it intended? With doors closed, the signal became the sole topic of discussion. The Webb team confirmed that astronomers whispered 3I Atlas was enormous, possibly tens of kilometers in diameter, and scale far beyond any interstellar object seen before. Oumuamua barely measured the size of a football field, while Borisov was about 1 kilometer wide. The math just didn't support this. Statistically, an object of that size shouldn't reach us coming from another stellar system. But 3I Atlas moved with purpose. Unlike other visitors, it glided into an orbit too perfect to be natural, aligning itself with planetary orbits with alarming precision. The odds of that happening by chance are less than 1 in 500. Furthermore, it didn't perform any uncontrolled gravitational maneuver. Some astronomers noticed a subtle deceleration, just enough to raise questions about control. Dozens of telescopes traced its trajectory, and a pattern emerged. 3I Atlas passed within range of all our major imaging systems, almost as if it had drawn a visibility corridor. No tail, no coma, no water ice, just a symmetric plume of carbon dioxide. But the true anomaly was the glow. It was coming from within. According to Webb, the core of this emission wasn't thermal, but artificial. Webb's internal records marked it as a system, an object structured with consistent internal output and intentional motion. Initially, no one dared to speak up. The implications were too significant. However, when the shape, emissions, and trajectory were overlapped, a new theory arose, that of a stealth hull. The idea is that to travel between the stars, a species wouldn't build a ship, but would utilize what space already offers. It would mine an asteroid, install internal systems, and cover the exterior with dust and gas to mimic a comet. The perfect disguise, a spacecraft that looks like a rock until it no longer does. And as researchers delved deeper into the data, the theory began to solidify. The carbon dioxide emissions were too clean and consistent, almost like a ventilation system. An internal report suggested that the gas could be deliberate. If this theory holds, 3Io Atlas is not a natural body, but rather a construction designed not by us, but by someone else. Once the signal was isolated, another anomaly related to its timing emerged. Hidden within the primary frequency were pulses repeating based on a universal mathematical structure. Prime numbers, starting with 2, then 3, 5, and 7, formed a looping signature built on the most fundamental logic of the universe. Prime numbers do not occur in nature without purpose. Someone or something within 3I Atlas was encoding a logical message, and logic doesn't need translation. But there was more to it. The pauses between the sequences of primes were reactive. They changed depending on when the object was observed, and sometimes after signals were emitted from Earth. To some, it was noise. To others, behavior. A behavior that doesn't belong to a rock, but to something aware of being observed. When the nature of the signal was confirmed, the information leaked to Command Defense. Within 48 hours, 3I Atlas was quietly reclassified, not as a visitor, but as something to be controlled. There was no public announcement, but the effects were immediate. The United States Space Command blocked access and redirected resources to track the object in real time. The most revealing response came from orbit. The Department of Defense launched its secret military spaceplane, the X-37B. There was no fanfare, just a course change that aligned it with 3I Atlas. The mission was classified, but the message was clear. This was not for observation. It was for preparation. For the public, the official story was one of an anomalous comet, but behind the scenes, it was monitored as an active threat. The final theory, the strangest of all, came from quantum physicists. The object did not use optics, did not use lenses or mirrors, yet its behavior suggested it was being observed. It reacted to attention, paused when tracked, changed frequency when Earth responded, and in a final burst, did something impossible. It projected a shadow that wasn't shaped by sunlight. Webb's data revealed a self-shadowing effect, a silhouette that moved independently of solar angles. The object seemed to bend light around it, controlling how it wanted to be seen. When the last spectrogram was aligned with star maps, the emissions formed a pattern. They aligned with a region beyond our galaxy, the Triangulum Galaxy, over 2 million light-years away. The line traced from that origin ended precisely where 3I Atlas was located. What kind of intelligence travels across galaxies? Scientists now suspect that 3I Atlas is not an instrument, but a form of non-biological intelligence in its own right, something that evolved through systems. If this is true, it did not come to start something. It came to fulfill a pattern, a cycle that began long before we had the tools to recognize it. For millennia, we've been gazing at the stars, wondering if we are alone. Perhaps the answer won't come in the form of a bright ship, but as a silent, coded whisper, disguised as a rock, coming from the depths of time. An intelligence so vast that its existence challenges our understanding of what it means to be alive. The question now is no longer, are they coming? But rather, are they here and what do they want? Until next time, thank you for watching.